Civil War gave way to an even worse and more vicious system. The racist white supremacist South arguably won, and they're the ones who shaped the coming decades in that area especially. History is told by the victors, and the South definitely won the war. Very few people know the truth, the whole truth, the real truth of that war, and the ramifications of it. In this video and in the coming weeks, I'll try to explain different aspects of it. I'll show how, in this video, we did and do continue to bury the past woes, but also make the new strategies be seen as acceptable in modern day society. Firstly, enter into debt peonage, convict leasing, and chain gangs. I've already gone more in depth on what they are and in the previous video, so if you do want to see more what they are, you can refer to that video. The part I want to zero in on is how slavery was seen as bad even by the racist South and a rightful relic of the past. But these new systems were okay because they deserved it or made these choices and have relation to Jim Crow laws and the felon title. As surprising as it may sound, the average racist white Southerner in 1903 actually did rightfully find slavery to be abhorrent because they were allowed to not really have to change their stance at all because something was filling that void. They were allowed to still openly view these people as less than people and in servitude in a much more acceptable way for the times. These pieces of rhetoric pushing the idea that these criminals or super predators deserve no sympathy goes all the way back to how black people were seen in this time, especially since in this time from between 90 to 95% of the inmates in the South were black. You dehumanize or tone down the rhetoric for the times to make it seem okay, to not scare off those more in the middle, but also give just enough to make it appear as if the issues aren't there or big issues institutional. Black people in this time period were, for all intents and purposes, still slaves. They simply just made the general public believe it's because of their own faults as criminals, even though most of it was just essentially you're guilty because you're black. We see the same game played now with the felon title, stripping people's rights back to the Jim Crow roots, not letting you vote, limiting your ability to get social services like food stamps, making finding employment much harder. For one mistake, you're punished for the rest of your life. Preach this idea of justice that once a person has repaid their debt to society, they should be able to then move on with their lives and, well, live. That isn't the reality we live in because of how we dehumanize them and work to perceive them all as purely evil, as purely just murderers and rapists. They're not. But take one example, like with Willie Horton, and spin it into all of them. All black people, all Mexican people are animals, all Muslims are part of Hamas. It's again just the same game over and over and over again, just with a slightly different coat of paint. This is why we need to learn. This is why we as a society need to re-educate ourselves, so we can stop repeating the past. So we can learn how to dehumanize and blaming a small subset for all the shit in Israel, for example. How have we not realized the patterns? Like, take the Trump era, for example. He was saying the same rhetoric on a nearly daily basis, and we still don't recognize it. It's happening now. It's happening 7 years ago. It keeps happening, and we're not seeing it. We, as not only just educated people, but as educated men, need to stand up to work to fight against this oppression and corruption. I will continue to spread the knowledge and lessons I've accrued through countless hundreds of hours of studying and learning, so that we, the people, can be informed and not repeat, so that we, the people, can recognize the basic human rights still only apply to you, the people, who are white.